What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. Going to try to be a little short with this one. But I would ask if y'all could hit the like button once you come in. I'm not going to be long. I just want to talk about why turning away from the narcissist is better than revenge. Because you got to think about it. See, narcissists, they thrive off your negative energy. They thrive off knowing that they were able to trigger anger. They know that they can get to you if you're trying to get revenge. So it's best to turn away from the narcissist. Turning away from the narcissist does not mean that you're not bothered by what they've done. It doesn't mean that they haven't hurt you. It doesn't take away what they've done. And it's not like you're just going to forget about it. But it shows them a different way of dealing with them. It shows a different type of response. Because the narcissists, they don't think like we do. And they don't have normal arguments. They don't have the type of arguments to where, okay, well, we're just going to agree to disagree and walk away peacefully. Oh no, they gotta take it up a notch and go the extra mile by proving that they will not be ignored. They got to get the last word. They got to have the final say so. And even if that's to just to get a response out of you that bothers your soul, that's what they want to do. They want to see just how much they could get to you. See, either way it goes, they're still having their way. You're not stopping that by taking revenge. You got to let it go. And again, not saying forget about it, but the only way that you're going to begin to kind of get over it and start to heal from what the narcissist have done to you is by turning away from them, not taking revenge on them. Because when you decide to get revenge on a narcissist, it's like they're already a step ahead of you. They're ahead of the game in ways that you would never think of, like they have some type of supernatural power. But know that they think different. And they are willing to do things that you wouldn't imagine, because all you can think about is the history you had with them and who you thought they were. So it's like you can't picture all of this stuff happening. You never thought the day would come where you'll be going up against someone who you put so much trust in, someone who you loved, someone who you really cared about. And see, that don't sit well with them. Like it doesn't really move a narcissist to know that you hurt them. You think they don't know that? They know that you hurt them. They know what they've done. But they also know that the next thing you're going to do is try to get revenge on them. You're going to want payback. You know, you're going to let them know how they made you feel. And that's taking revenge on them, but it's not worth it. And you're going to have to realize that it is better to walk away from a narcissist and find peace within the situation rather than go up against them, because you don't want to do that. You playing a dangerous game by going up against a narcissist, and it delays the healing process. because you're taking your focus off something bigger and better, something more important than them, to say that you're supposed to be completely done with them. Be done with them then. You got to be serious about it. Just like they were serious about hurting you. That hurt was intentional. It wasn't by mistake, because it happened too many times before. All of the stuff that you look back at and just think about, how much they took away from you. It shouldn't want you to want to deal with them even longer, just to say, I came out on top. I won in the end. Because you're still not going to feel better. So don't even waste your energy on it. It's best to just walk away. Turn away from that. And you will slowly start to feel different. No, you're not going to heal overnight. You're not going to feel better overnight. You're still going to be thinking about it sometimes, especially if you took a big hit from the narcissist. You probably put a lot on the line and you lost it. You took a chance on someone who you really thought you can trust. And we done been there. And we end up learning the hard way that maybe we shouldn't have fought back, because that's what they wanted. The narcissist will fight you back with a smile on your face and watch you just constantly hurt yourself. You know, the narcissist, they don't have nothing to lose. They feel like that they've already lost you. They feel like they already lost you. They're going to take you up on the challenge. They're going to be ready for it. So if you give them a warning, out of hurt and anger, what you plan to do with them to get them back, trust me, they're going to be ready for it. They're going to have time for that. That's they kind of talk. That's what they live for. They was ready to take the mask off and show you who they are and how they really get down. And you don't want to waste your time and energy on something like that. You're dealing with somebody with a very dark soul. Somebody that will drag you all the way down with them. Again, because they don't have nothing to lose. Turning away from the narcissist, it doesn't only start to give you the peace you need, but it hurts the narcissist more than any type of revenge you can get on them. Just walk away from them. And then when you do stuff in silence and they don't really know what you got planned, they don't know what your next move gonna be, that's the best revenge to get on the narcissist. Because they don't know what you're thinking. They don't know what you're gonna do next. They don't know how you feel. See, when you express your anger to a narcissist after they hurt you and you plan to get them back, they know that you feel some type of way. And they like that. They get their kicks off of seeing you act out. And it's like you're kind of giving so much power to them to get you to act a certain way. They know you're full of emotions. They know that you're just kind of all over the place. But they enjoy that. They like to see you like that. And it's taking more from you than anything. You're not getting no revenge on them, because you got a plan to, do something that's going to even the score. You may think that, oh, okay, I feel better now. But you're going to keep thinking about all the other stuff they done. And as you think about those things, you're going to keep coming up with ways to get them back. And it's just really not worth your time. So walk away. It's better to walk away from them and figure some things out. Clear your mind, you know, and look at what made you, just kind of deal with that person to begin with, what kept you there for so long. There's so many other ways that you can focus on you, and take the attention off them, because you're giving them attention when you answer to them. You gotta be strong enough to say, I can ignore them. I'm not gonna give them a fight. You gotta be able to recognize the signs at some point and say, I know what you're doing, but that's not gonna work on me. You gotta let them know that it doesn't work anymore, and not to, tell them, I know what you're doing and it's not working. Don't do that. Let them know in silence. You don't have to open your mouth to let the narcissist know that all the things they do, it just doesn't really move you anymore. See, it's all about how they can get inside of your mind. They want to be able to make you feel like you're not as strong as you think you are. But you got to show them better than you can tell them. That's why it's better to keep quiet and go with your move. That's the best revenge, knowing that they lost you, knowing what they had and that they don't have that anymore. And it's not going to be easy to find that, or even something similar. Someone's even close to you. And we're all different, and we're all, special in different ways. So it's not even about a comparison thing. But when it comes to when you're dealing with a narc and you knew how good you were to them, you know, they know what they're losing when you just walk away without putting up a fight. Now, sometimes it is necessary to have to fight back. I do understand that. I've been there and done that. But to those fights that come about based off your emotions, because you're just kind of in your thoughts that day and you're thinking about, I just can't get over, what they done. I just can't get over that. And you're thinking of a way to get them back. It's not worth it. That's when you have to kind of check yourself and say, yeah, I'm not even going to go there. Because you hold yourself back when you do that. And you may not even feel like the healing process is going to be such a huge weight off your shoulder. Because some people, they haven't went through like the real bad hurt from a narcissist. They've just been disappointed after the narcissist slowly start to show them who they are. But you just kind of brush it off, and you keep giving them chance after chance after chance. Sometimes it's those type of relationships that also make a person think, well, all right, you know, it's going to be tit for tat from now on. If you treat me this way, I'm going to treat you that way. Like that. And that's petty and it's uncalled for. It's not even necessary. Like, find something else to do with your time, because they're not worth it. It takes too much of energy away to, put into those type of thoughts for someone they're not even serious about you. Again, they were only serious about the hurt they caused you. They were serious. They meant that. And if they meant to hurt you, if they had every intention on hurting you, think about the intentions they have to hurt you if you choose to get revenge on them. We cannot fight with a narcissist. They fight different. They fight dirty. They hit below the belt. They become very dangerous. They don't think like us. It'll never be a fair fight. It's not like you're going to touch gloves in the ring. It's just not going to be what you think. Because they could go on and on and on. And when you think that, okay, I said what I had to say, or, I'm done with it now, they're not done. They still going to come up with ways to try to hurt you. just for the simple fact that they knew how you would respond. If you respond with anger and it kind of escalates, they're going to look for that all the time out of you. And it's just really not worth it. So just think about it the next time you sit and all those things come to mind about what they done. You know, if you could do something about it to change that situation, then do what you can and move on. But if not, some stuff we just gonna have to accept as tough. You're gonna have to accept that L sometimes. But you could also look at it in a different way other than just saying you've been defeated, you've been beat down, you've been cheated. You could look at it as, you know, just look at it as a learning thing, lesson learned. And not to be so easy with yourself. Don't be so quick to just trust people. Be careful who you let in. Be careful who you let stay around for too long. Because some people aren't meant to be in your life for as long as you allow them to be. Start being brief, monitor situations more than you used to. Stop giving people the benefit of the doubt all the time. It's like you got to start to be a little bit more strict. Not saying to be cruel to nobody. You don't have to be mean and, just shut everybody out or assume that everyone has bad intentions. But you still have to you don't want to be too careless. Because a narcissist, they see clean through that. And they're going to take advantage of you if they can. And it's going to come a time where you might start to see things differently and you may call it out. And that's a problem with a narcissist. And they become very vindictive. They're going to look for ways to punish you because you figured something out about them or you called it out. Or you start to move different. They notice that, they're not seeing much of you anymore. You're not answering the phone for them as much as you used to. They've been missing a lot about you. And when you give them the short answer, or something that puts them under the impression like, well, maybe this kind of works better for me. Yeah, that's going to kind of be the turning point. It can go either way. They could either try to hurt you by moving different, getting close to someone who you will never imagine, something that can hurt you in that way. They might try to hit on your best friend. Not saying that your best friend will give them that time of day or entertain them in that way, but I'm talking about that's their way of getting your attention to let you know, yeah, I could hurt you too. And see, that's their perceived hurt. Is by thinking that you intentionally tried to hurt them because they take things the wrong way. They're very simple minded. The narcissists, they just want to have their way with you all the time. And the moment that you decide, well, I just want to do something different this time, this works better for me, you know what's best for you. Only you know what's best for you when it comes to that. But the narcissists, they're not trying to hear that. They're not feeling this new you. They're going to look at you as acting funny, holding back from them. And they could do it too. So now you're going to start to see them act out in ways to get your attention and get a reaction. Hopefully, they want you to be jealous. That's what they want, you to be jealous. But there's no need for you to be jealous because you feel like, why are you doing all this? You being super extra, and for what? And they're doing this because they feel injured, by the way you choose to live your life. Or you can set boundaries and the narcissist will take an issue with that. Because how dare you change on me? Or how am I changing? I decide that I'm gonna kind of, you know, do things a bit different. Or you wanna see less of me. Well, okay. And see, that tone tells you everything, that they feel some type of way. And trust me, that's when the feelings and the emotions just be all over the place until they just can't contain it anymore. But when it comes to revenge, it's not necessary to get revenge on a narcissist because they're going to respond to that different than you think. They're not going to put up a fair fight and then both of y'all just walk away from it and go on with your life. No, it's going to take more out of you than you think. Talking about getting revenge, not worth it. The best thing to do is just to walk away from the narcissist. Just walk away. And that's for your own peace and sanity. Because it's going to drive you crazy because you're thinking that you're going to dead the situation by doing this one last thing. It's not. You're not going to feel better after doing it. Because what you don't know is what they're planning to do next. And you ain't going to never be able to think like, nah, they wouldn't do. Like, you may think they not going to take it that far. You don't know. When you're dealing with a narcissist, yeah, they'll take it there. So walk away. It's better to just turn away from getting revenge on a narcissist. They are not worth it. And the more you start to show how it's bothering you to just sit and just deal with it. Whatever you went through with a narcissist, they know that it is bothering you because you keep picking. It's like you keep picking at a wound, so it will never fully heal. You keep picking at it. And then that starts to make you look like, well, are you really trying to move on from this? No, you want your lick back. And for what? You're still not going to really be at peace with it. When we learn that we're stronger by walking away, you know, that's when our mindset will change. We'll start to see things different. And then you'll start to grow from your old ways of feeling like you always have to prove a point, that you're not weak, you're not afraid of them, or you had enough. And I'm going to show you something. Show them by letting them see you walk away. And let that be the end of it. That's the best way to deal with a narcissist. When you're at the stage of just kind of like being done for good, yeah, that's the best way to deal with it. It's just to walk away. Because it's going to look worse on their part to keep picking with you. Because eventually they will be exposed for who they are. You don't have to prove that you're innocent. You don't have to fight back just to prove to anyone that you're not weak or afraid. You don't have to be scared, but you don't have to fight them either. You defeat the narcissist by walking away. So that concludes this video. Like I said, I just wanted to keep it short. Just wanted to get on and talk about that for a minute. So again, I want to thank y'all for watching. Please like the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave your thoughts down below. Let me know if this content was helpful to you. Do it help in any kind of way? Can you take something from it? I mean, let me know your thoughts. Share your experience with it. Let me know how it went for you if you decided to ever get revenge on a narc. You know, because we all got stories to tell. You know, a lot of stuff, even after we discard the narcissist and set boundaries, we end up turning back and doing something that we don't be proud of. We end up regretting, like, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Because you realize the peace that you have now is so much better than, you know, responding to them, entertaining them in that way. So again, that's it. I'm gonna talk to y'all in the next one. See you later.